that is the best lunch I have had in weeks. And I'll tell you a story. So because we're on the corporate emails and I have that shiny new cafeteria with Chef Russ who makes like these amazing creations for everybody for lunch and breakfast and snack at 3 o'clock. And so we get the emails and he oftentimes, always, attaches pictures. Now, the soups and stuff, okay, whatever. But he'll do like a chocolate cream pie or some crazy decadent dessert as I am sitting there eating like, I don't know, saltine crackers with a piece of cheese. That's all I could find to eat in the house since I work from home. So this is like the best lunch I have had in weeks. And I want to send a picture of it actually. I should take one to Chef Russ to show him that. He's not the only one that can have a good lunch. So my name is Debra Joseph. For those of you that don't know me or that I maybe haven't had the pleasure to meet before, I am the corporate representative for the Canadian market. So my job is to take care of all of you and everybody else across the country that's a unique presenter, even if they don't know they're going to be one yet, and to make sure that you all feel uplifted, empowered, and validated. So I do spend more of my time oftentimes dealing with issues and challenges, like shipping, mascara, there's just a long list of things. But I also get the chance to do things like this. So I really want to thank everybody, especially Tammy and Tiff, for inviting me because I'm really thrilled to be here. You might hear from Tammy a bit later. Oh yeah, it's right for that. We're gonna get to meet Tammy. So Tammy might be bold, so if anyone sees her head to the door, she's not to leave the room. Bathroom breaks do not matter.
My daughter's sick in Stellar. How about that?
I don't even know where that is. So so I did not do a slide presentation today because I just preferred not to. And I'm glad that I didn't now because I feel like if I had done one, that would have been really duplicating a lot of what has already been said. Because I can tell you, after listening to these women this morning, it's a pretty tough act to follow. So bear with me while I sort of go through all that I had planned and now pick out the things that don't need to be said again. Because I'm sure you got them the first time. So the first thing I want to ask everybody is, who has a vision for their life in this room? Pretty much everybody has a vision. Now, did you make that vision like a month ago or a year ago, maybe when you were 12 years old and had a vision of what your wedding would be like, or when you would have kids, or the home that you would own, or the job that you would do? Yeah? And has it all come to be the way that you thought it would? No, neither. In fact, it sucks on many days. So the thing about a vision is that it's a moving target. And so you plan it based on the moment. But the moment is never the same again. So once this moment is done, I'm going to move to another moment. And what I thought in this moment might not be the same as what I thought 3 or 4 or 10 or 100 moments ago. So you have to keep in mind that your vision and your vision board is always a moving target. And you want to keep it current and up to date. Because if you don't keep it current and up to date, what happens is you lose your focus, and you lose your momentum, and you lose your drive, and you lose your passion. And once you've lost any of those things, because they're really all balls that you want to keep in the air, because if one breaks and it's glass, you're going to have a problem. So you want to think of everything that you do as a juggler. So we just went to see Cirque du Soleil, and there was a juggler there, and he was phenomenal. I don't even know how many of those, they look like bowling ball pins, I don't know what they're called. Anyways, he was juggling like what seemed like a dozen of them. And he recently just set a world record at the subway station, Union Station in Toronto as well. So he went on and he said, he got right on stage, and no performer in Cirque du Soleil speaks except the clown host. And he got on and he was, you could tell, he was like, he had no mic on him. So he started to go and he dropped it. Now he's got 6,000 people in the tent focused on only him because he's the only person on the stage. We are all looking at him. And everybody's holding their breath. And he drops it. And he smiles, and he does the best he can, and he runs to pick it up, and then he starts to go again. And he drops it again. And you can imagine that this guy is thinking, I'm probably in big trouble by whoever owns this show when I get off the stage. And how embarrassed must he have been? Because we're here to see some amazing acrobatics when you pay to see Cirque du Soleil. So he finally got it. He did it. And he was so proud and so excited and so happy, and people went crazy. Because what everybody likes is to see somebody succeed. No matter who you are, no matter who they are, to see someone succeed gives you a joy, that just cannot be duplicated with anything else. And that's what you do. So how many people in here have a team? I don't care if it's one person or 500 people. How many have a team? So virtually everybody in here has a team. And if you don't have a team, are you interested in building a team? Yes, yes, yes. And is there a reason that you haven't started to build a team yet? You just started, good reason. But let me tell you a story about just starting. We heard it earlier, Brady had said it, about videos. And she said how they changed her business and transformed everything for her. And what she said after that was, I wished I had started them sooner. And Karen said the same thing. And one thing I have heard from every independent contractor, no matter what direct sales company I've been in, is this. And it's no matter where they are, from the top to the middle, or brand new. I wish I had started building a team sooner. So don't let fear prevent you from doing it. Because a lot of times what you might think is, I just started. I don't think I know everything yet. Like, if I can't figure it out for myself, how can I possibly bring someone on my team and help them? Because I can barely help myself right now. So the funny thing about this is this story. It's completely counterintuitive to how we think as human beings. We think that we need to know everything there is to get started. So you need to know everything about Younique, the products, the business, the compensation plan, how to sponsor, how to manage social media. You need to know all of it. And once you know all that, you can start building your team. And you'll have a really great team with huge success. Two problems wrong with this. First of all, you can't possibly ever know anything because our business is forever changing because of Facebook, because of products, because of rules and regulations and laws, because there's better ways to do the same things, all kinds of good reasons. But the other thing that's wrong with that is, in fact, to know everything, you actually have to get started. You can't know anything if you don't start. You can't learn to drive a car if you don't get behind the wheel of a car. You can take driver's tests, you can brake, you can know the rules of the road, how far back you have to park from the fire truck or the fire hydrant, or you can know all of those logically and intellectually, but until you get behind the wheel of a car, you don't realize that if all you do is stare at the trunk of your car, you'll actually run yourself off the road. Because no book tells you that. But the car will tell you that as you start to hit the curb, and your parent yells at you in the seat beside you. True story. So, so the thing is that don't not do something because you're afraid. What you need to start to think about is how to quality control your life. Is anybody here not busy? Like, does anyone really just not have anything to do at times where they sit at home on their sofa and they're thinking, I have nothing to do today. I wish I could figure out what to do. Anybody in here have that problem? No, I didn't think so. And I've yet to meet a woman, I've met a few men, but I've yet to meet a woman that actually would say that or that would agree with that. So that being the case, what you need to do is learn to manage your life. And success of any presenter starts the very first conversation that they have with whoever it is that they're talking to about Younique. Whether it's your friend, whether it's Karen, whether it's someone that you've met on Facebook. The minute that they know that you are a unique presenter, they're thinking. What they're thinking is a moving target as well, but they're thinking, she's crazy? Wow, she can do this? She does that and has a full-time job? She gets to take a cruise, like she gets to do, they're thinking things. And so what you want to start doing right away is remembering what we were told earlier, which was about branding. Everything you say, everything you do, how you dress, how you speak, how you write, everything, picture, video, everything is a reflection of you. Anything that's off to the wrong person will impact what they're thinking, for good or better, or for good or worse. So you really want to be curating what you say and how you say it. Now, we all have the same number of hours in a day. I get the same 24 that everybody else gets. I got a couple of extra coming here because I went backwards, but I'm going to lose them when I go home tonight at midnight. So, if I didn't spend them wisely, too bad for me. So, but everybody has those same 24 hours, and it's what you do with them that matters. So, you might say, I have a full-time job, I have kids, my husband, I have a lot to do. I don't know how I can be successful in Younique because I don't have the time. How many people have been on Facebook, not for Younique, random reasons? And you're gonna just check a few statuses and then, oh look, an hour and a half has gone by. Yeah, it happens to me on a daily basis. So, do you not have the time or are you not using the time?
Not using
You're not using the time. You're not using the time to be effective. And so what you want to start to think about is, what are the things that I can do in my day and give to somebody else? What can you delegate? What doesn't matter? What of one of the balls that the 1,000 balls that you're juggling, if one of them drops, it's rubber, it doesn't matter. If it's a glass ball, it matters. If you're not picking your child up from school, that's a glass ball. That's a big deal. You know, if you're not meeting deadlines for whatever your job is, that's a glass ball. That's a big deal. But if the dishes don't get done today and they don't get done until tomorrow, I mean, that would make me crazy personally because I'm a bit OCD about that, but I've gotten better. But is that a big deal in the big scope of things? So I have a 9-year-old, and she's, I like to use the word spirited because I feel it's a more positive word than others that could be used to describe her personality at times. And her personality is very much my personality. So when I say that, I'm also making fun of myself. But what I've come to realize is that she gets very worked up about really foolish, silly things. Then in the big scope of things, she's not going to remember them in 10 minutes. If I asked her why she was upset, she's going to look at me like I have 3 heads. And I started to realize that I could learn something from her, because I need to look at things, and everybody needs to do this. It is not going to matter to you in best case scenario 7 days, but it's probably a lot shorter time frame than that. If it's maybe not going to matter to you in 2 hours, 24 hours, then why is it such a big deal? Why is it sucking all of your time and all of your energy to think about it? Because the time and the energy that gets sucked into those things becomes time and energy you don't have for anything else. You don't have it for your business, you don't have it for yourself. And if you don't have it for yourself, you don't have it for anything else. So it's really important to think, okay, how can I restructure my time so that the things that don't matter, don't matter? I'm not worried about them anymore. I'm done, I'm washing my hands. I'm going to take that 15 minutes and I'm going to contact 2 people about Younique. Because think about it. How many people do you meet in the course of a day, or do you interact with in the course of a day? For most of us, it's probably quite a few. Every single person you meet, every single woman that you meet, can fall into one of 4 buckets. She could become a customer, she could become a hostess, she could become a presenter, or she could give you a referral to someone else who could be any of one of those 4 things as well. So you see how this works. It's like the shell game. You remember the shell game when you had to find the thing under the shell and the fast hands always won? So every woman has 4 shells. She's this shell today, but in 2 weeks, she might be a different shell. So you need to really think about what you're saying and who you're speaking to. Because just like I said that your moments change from moment to moment, so do theirs. It's the same for all of us. So the woman today that says, I'm too busy, I don't have time, I don't wear makeup, I don't do home parties, I'm not on Facebook, whatever that litany of objections is, in 2 weeks when someone gets ill in her family, or she loses her job, or her marriage falls apart, guess what? She's thinking something very different now. And thinking different causes a different reaction. So if you think about it, your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. And it's your actions that become your results. So if you don't take actions, you don't have results. It's a very simple math. I love math. It's a very simple, word math equation. So you have to connect everything for something to happen. It's clear, we know this. There's no science to this. No action equals no results. Not good results, not bad results, just no results. Nothing happens, nothing changes. The needle doesn't move. And you get frustrated. And you think, this isn't for me. I can't do this. Why did I think I would be good at this? I should have listened to my husband, my mother, my sister, my friends that said this was like a scam and I would never be able to do this. You start to then believe all those saboteurs that invade your head, and they invade strong and hard. They're like a cancer. So you really want to think about what you tell yourself, because one thing I've often said to people, and I use this on myself, is would I give myself the same advice I give someone else? Because I think I give good advice. I really believe that about myself, and I have testimonials to prove that. So if I give good advice, why is it that I don't take that same advice for myself? Because a lot of times the way I talk to myself, I would never consider talking to anybody else that way, ever. I would never beat someone up the way that I would verbally beat myself up. Never. I would never think those things. I would never allow someone to do that to someone I knew or someone that I cared about. But yet, I feel like it's okay for me to not treat me well. And that sometimes is where a lot of the problems start. Karen talked about it earlier, about worrying about what people would think when she did her videos, the space between my teeth, or a nose that's too big, or my hair isn't perfect, or my makeup isn't perfect. But here's the thing, you'd probably be astounded to know how little anybody else thinks about you. So we all think that everybody's always thinking and judging, but they're so caught up in their own stuff that they're probably not. And even if they are, who cares? So they don't like my hair. I don't probably know them, so really it doesn't matter to me. Is it that big of a deal? Why we care about so many things that other people think, but we don't take the same care for our own thoughts. Care more about your own thoughts than you care about someone else's thoughts, because those are the thoughts that will take you places. Now, when you think about that, there's nothing about success in Younique that is a real mystery. It's pretty tried, tested, and proven. So we were talking, a few of us last night, about different training programs and the cost of them and what you get from them. And the thing is that everybody that has done well in any direct sales company, no matter what the model, no matter what the product, and I do think that we have a leg up hugely on both of those areas, but no matter what, it comes down to work and effort. So sure, the makeup sells itself. It's great colors, it's great products, it delivers on the features and the benefits, it performs well. But if I post a picture of a tube of lipstick today on my Facebook page, where I present her, I don't think anything would really happen. What would happen? Someone would say, nice color. That's it. So you need to really think about what you're saying and who you're saying it to. Because a lot of the activities that presenters do are not high value activities. And they're not income producing activities. So if what you're doing isn't helping you to sell, or book, or sponsor, it's wasting your time. It's really simple. Because all of those things are what allow you to fulfill our mission. Karen said earlier, we were talking at breakfast this morning, and she said she even, at her level, with her success and with her time with Younique, struggles when people say, what do you do? And I hear this a lot. It astounds me that so many bright women struggle with that question. And I said to Karen, I said, well, it's really kind of simple. We have a really good mission. So what you do, what everyone here does, is they uplift, they empower, and they validate women through a number of different vehicles. That could be makeup. That could be letting them be a hostess for a party. That could be going to their house and making them over for a special event. That could be showing the opportunity that has the potential to change their lives. But that's really what we do. Everything else is like a side to all of that. But that's really what you do. Do you sell makeup? Sure, of course. But women need makeup. Women love makeup. That's never changed. That's been the way of the world since Cleopatra, when makeup was made from fruits and all sorts of other different ingredients. It wasn't what it is today, but makeup is not going anywhere, and that's one of the things that makes our mission and our product so unique, is that it is truly a consumable product. And although we live in times that are difficult economically right now, and I might not want to go out and spend a few $100s on a new outfit, I have zero guilt about buying a $26 lipstick, zero. And that's the case for most women. And same with skincare. Women will forego other things for really great skincare, because if you don't have great skin, when you get older, it's going to catch up with you. So I always tell that, people say, when do we start worrying about aging skin? 20. 20 is when you should start thinking about it. Start taking care of your skin then. I mean, I've got a 9-year-old daughter that is obsessed with like 3 things on her nose. I don't even know what they are, anyways. But she thinks they're pimples, and she's all stressed about it now, right? So, but these are things that women, this is what we do. So use the tools that you have and really help uplift, empower, and validate women. Because if you don't do that, who's gonna do it? Who else is going to be able to do what Younique can do? I don't know of another company that does what we do, not to the scope that we do it. And we do it in a very unique way because we're current. So it's great that we do virtual parties, but it's also great that you can go to a vendor show or a trade show, or that you can go into someone's home. And I'll tell you, I love the internet and I love all of the virtual parties, but I think the other thing that really boosts a business is a home party. That traditional party that has worked since, Mary Kay in the 1960s. It's changed a lot. It should have changed a lot. I don't think that the way that it's done with some companies now is the right way, but have, what are we fall now? Or October. So you could do a Halloween one if you wanted, although that speaks more to a certain demographic, but you could have one that's getting ready for glamour, day to night. And have some people over. You don't need to do a full face. All you need to do is change a lipstick. Get the lipsticks there, get them to change their lipstick. Show them how a nude to a dark red or a nice bright with a little bit of a pigment on it to give it some shimmer does to their look. Don't change anything else. Let them have fun with makeup. There are no rules. You don't need to know anything. And even if you know nothing, I guarantee you, every single person you talk to thinks you know more than they do about makeup and skincare. It doesn't matter if you do or not. They believe that you do because they think that if you didn't, you wouldn't be with Younique. And that's why they're not with Younique, because they're going to say to you, I don't wear makeup, I don't take my makeup off, I'm not into skincare, so I wouldn't be good at this. Like that's one of the more common things that you hear. But everybody was probably that person at one time. So you know more than they do whether you believe it or not. The whole fake it till you make it thing, there is some merit to it. There is some merit to it. So if you look at your business and you look at where you are today, does everybody know where they want to be in 3 months? Idea, maybe, roughly? So we're heading into like the best, one of the best seasons of the year for sales, indirect sales, and in retail in general. This is that golden period. And so you really want to look now at the next 3 months. So October, November, December. And you've only got a couple of weeks in December because once that 17th, 20th December hits, it's kind of it's a lull at that point because everybody's moved on to family events. So you want to look at the next 2.5, 3 months and you want to say, what's on my calendar? What do I have planned? Do I have any parties planned? Do I have any trade shows planned? Am I going to any home parties? Because if you have nothing, then you know that nothing is going to give you nothing. So it's not going to move you closer to what your goals are. So you really need to think now. Pull out a calendar. 30 days a month, or 31, depending on the month. Pull it out and start saying, okay, these are the days I could go somewhere. These are the days I could go meet with someone. These are the days I could go to a home party. These are the days I can't. They're X'd off right away. Immediately X them off. You've got to be flexible and you've got to make sure that whatever you do works for your schedule. It's all about your schedule. If it doesn't work for you, it's not going to work at all. When you look at that then, say, okay, if I want to build a team, have I spoken to anybody about it? Do I have anybody I could speak to? What am I going to say? You need to start planning it out because without a plan, and you probably hear this all the time, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. It's very simple. So Tiff was at an event, I think it was in St. Catharines that I was at, and I run a few half marathons. And I don't run with music, I don't do any of that, I run by myself, I'm not part of a running group randomly, but I tend not to be very committal to those things. I go all gung-ho and then I'm like, done. So I did it on my own. I had a coach, a fabulous coach, and she ran twice with me, but I can't keep up with her, so it was just a waste of time for her anyways. And I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to run that half marathon in under 2 hours. I knew it. And it was a hot summer that year in Ontario, like super hot. And I couldn't run during the day because I had a job during the day. And at night, I had my daughter home, and it was hot, and I couldn't go when it was dark. It's not really that safe. So I would have to get up at like 5. I would have to run at 5 in the morning. That is not my preferred time to get up at all. And so many mornings, my alarm would go off, and it'd be like, oh, I'm done. I'm not going. So the first year I did that, I didn't come close to 2 hour marathon. I was like 2 hours and 23 minutes, I think. It was like deflated. I was like, after all that running I did, which was not all that much, but after all that running I did, like that's what I did, like what a waste, what a waste. So then I went back 2 years later and I thought, no, this time I'm going to do it. So I went back to Diane and I said, I want to go under 2 hours. You tell me what I have to do and I will do it. She's like, are you serious? I'm like, you give me a plan, give it to me week by week, and I will do it. So she did. And I would be like all gung-ho, and I would try to ground her. So she'd be like, okay, you have to run 10 kilometers. So I'd be like, I'm gonna run 12. So I'd say, I ran 12 on this day, and she'd be like, why did you run 12? I told you, 10. Not 12, 10. We're not doing 12s, we're doing 10s. Stick to the plan. I'd be like, how mean is she? Like, I'm going above and beyond, and she is scolding me. I'm an adult, she is scolding me. So I learned after that, stick to the plan. And her plan was very methodical, like, you know, you're gonna run 24 kilometers on this Sunday. I don't care how long it takes you, you run 24 kilometers. I don't care if it's cold, I don't care what the weather is, you go out and you run it. And I did. And that marathon, I had an injury on my Achilles. The doctor said, don't run, you're probably gonna tear it. I'm like, I'm not pulling it out at this point. I am like less than a month out, I'm doing this. If I deal with that after, I deal with that after. So I ran it, and I ran it in 1:57. But I stuck to the plan. I stuck to the plan. I learned after that first scolding, don't do more. Don't do less, but don't do more. And so I look at this and I think, you have really great leaders, you have people that have done it, and they know exactly what to do. So instead of chasing sort of this magical panacea that's going to change everything and have it be instantaneous, there is no instantaneous. It's all about work and effort. And I went back and ran a third half marathon, and I had Diana coach me on that one again too. And I was better on this one. This time I wanted to go under 150. So I was going to try and shave off 10 minutes, which over 21 kilometers is a lot. It's a lot of time to shave off. So, and I was running a course I didn't know. I ran it in Georgia, and it was very hilly, and I don't like hills. Give me anything but hills. So I didn't hit the goal. I ran it in 1:53, and you know, if you're pacing, you know where you are at every instant in a half marathon. You know what kilometer you should be at when your watch goes off. So I knew I wasn't going to hit it, but I thought, you know what? I shaved off more time from my time. I didn't hit my goal, but I worked hard. I did everything, and it just wasn't meant to be at that moment. Now, I've not gone back and run another one, but I'm going to. I was saying to Karen, I started running again last Tuesday, and I couldn't walk Wednesday or Thursday. The stairs just about killed me at home. I have to go tomorrow now, and I have to go back on Tuesday. But I want to do another one in the spring, so that means I'm going to have to run in the winter, and I'm also not a winter runner. It's just not my favorite time of year. I'm sorry, I'm sure you guys all love it out here. But us Ontario people, no. So I'm going to go back, but I'm going to start again. I'm going to pull out the plan that I had from Diane, who sadly passed away last year. So all I have of her left now is that paper. And I want to run that because I want to run it for her this time. So you have to stick to what you know, and you have to stick to know what works. Don't try to do something that's going to take you so far beyond what is successful to others, because it's probably not going to work. You can tweak things, you have to be you have to be sincere, you have to be genuine. I can't take Karen's or Tiff's posts and just like copy and paste them, because I don't speak the way Tiff does, and I don't speak the way Karen does, and I don't have cool trademark hair like Tiff does. Like, I'm Debra, I'm not Tiff, I'm not Karen, I'm not anybody else in this room. So, you know, I look at Brady's pictures sometimes, I'm like, oh my gosh, like someone get that girl a modeling contract, but I'm not Brady. So you have to go with who you are and what you are, and that will work for you, but you have to let it work for you. You know, if you try to swim upstream, you don't really get anywhere unless you're a salmon. So it's not worth it for most of us to do that. Stick to what works, and I'll tell you what works. You want to start over, this is the time to do it. Recalibrate your business. If you're not where you want to be, it's done. You can't keep thinking about what's behind you and what's backwards. You can't change it. As much as we would love all of us to change elements of the past, it's impossible to do. So why do we keep thinking about doing it? If you messed up, if you missed an opportunity to sponsor someone or to make a sale or to host a party, you missed it. It's over, it's done, it's okay. It's gonna come back again, but only if you stop dwelling on it. So you wanna say, okay, today, Saturday, October the 15th, I am restarting my business from where I am, no matter what status I am at. This is where I am, and this is where I want to be, and this is what I'm going to do to get there. If you don't know what to do to get there, call someone else. Call your upline, call a pacing partner, call someone that has done it, and say, I need help. There is no shame in saying, I need help. Because if you don't say I need help, you won't get help, which means you might end up staying where you are. And the result of that is that a year from now, you'll be thinking, gosh, I wish I had done something differently. Because here I am, right back where I was. You may not hit your goal, you may not hit it in the time that you want to hit it. Goals, targets change. But if you don't write it down and if you don't commit to it, it's a wish. And the thing about a wish is that there's no control. Zero, I'm a control freak. So I can wish for all the things I want, but there is not one thing I can do to make that wish happen. If I have a goal, I can make a plan. I might have to recalibrate it, I might have to retweak it at times, but I can make a plan. And that plan can take me step by step closer to my goal. And step by step is the key. If I was to say to someone today, hey, want to join Younique? You can be a Black Status presenter. They're going to look at me like I have 3 heads, and then I'll tell them what you have to do to be a Black Status presenter. All those numbers. And I'll be like, I can't do that. Sorry, I'm out. But if I said to you, hey, what's your why? Like, what is it that, if you could have a wish list for your life, in 6 months, what would you have on that list? What would you have on that list that you don't have today in your life? Would it be a new bathroom? Would it be to pay for dance lessons, costumes? Would it be to pay for dance lessons for you and your spouse, cooking lessons, any number of things, right? How much would it cost? What if I could show you a way that that could happen for you? What if I could show you how you could do that? Would you be interested in talking about it then? Help her overcome her own objections. I don't do home parties. Oh, I get that. Most people don't do home parties. But what if I told you that we could get 6 people at your house and I'll take care of everything, you just get to have fun? Would you be willing to at least try it then? Most people are going to say yes to that. Most women are going to say yes to that. It's the same way that you're going to ask for help. So go back to where you are and start from there. Don't start from where you wish you were or where you were 6 months ago and life happens to everybody. Don't start from there. Start from today. Start from where you are. If all you have is 2 hours a day, if all you have is 1 hour a day, you can do this. If you don't waste the 1 hour, if you don't spend it scrolling Facebook looking at baby pictures and crazy cat animal things and all that other stuff, and the recipe that you saved, like me, that you're never going to make. Oh my God, I could open a bakery with all the recipes that I have saved. It's insane. And then I can't find them and I don't remember where they are, right? Because I've saved so many things that I have to scroll to find the stuff. So don't do that. Like, just stop. Just make a conscious decision to be in the moment and stop. When you see yourself trailing that way, be aware and pull yourself back in. Like, get the hook out and say, no, Debra, we're not doing that today. We're not. We have other things to do. Because if you don't do that, here's what happens. If you say, today I'm going to spend 2 hours on my business, and these are the things I'm going to do, and you start by going on Facebook, and you're going to do your post, which is great, but your posts lead you to other dark places oftentimes on Facebook. So what happens then is that when that 2 hour time frame is done, and let's say you've got to go do something with your kids or your spouse, or you've got another commitment, when that time comes, what you're thinking about instead of where you are with your kids or your spouse or that commitment is what you didn't do the 2 hours before. So you're living in the past instead of being present in the moment. And in doing that, you can't enjoy success. Like, it's impossible. You cannot enjoy success